6:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Dulmin Samrasinghe, assisted by Chatura, and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. The Prime Minister instructs to take steps to protect Sri Lankan students in Belarus. A ship carrying 37,300 metric tons of diesel arrives in the Colombo harbour. A special ministerial subcommittee appointed to expedite renewable energy projects. It has been emphasized that salary anomalies between the services should be rectified. Placing of sacred relics in Digavapi Mahasaya will take place on the 6th. The Commonwealth commends Sri Lanka's lead role on the blue economy. Foreign news, Russia has intensified its attacks on key Ukrainian cities. Sports, motorsports governing body rules Russian and Belarusian drivers can compete in neutral capacity. News in detail now. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has informed the Foreign Minister and Sri Lankan Embassy in Moscow to take protective measures in connection with Sri Lankan students following higher studies in Belarus. Nearly 1,500 Sri Lankan students are following university and higher education in Belarus. The notice has been given as an immediate response to a request made to the Prime Minister by their parents. The Prime Minister has instructed to hold discussions with the relevant universities to delay their academic activities and to provide them visa to arrive in Russia. Sri Lanka has settled a payment of $31 million to the Singaporean company for the diesel tanker docked near the Colombo port. According to the Minister of Energy, the ship is carrying 37,300 metric tons of diesel. The unloading process is expected to begin soon. A special ministerial subcommittee has been appointed to expedite renewable energy projects. The government targets to generate 70% of the electricity through renewable energy sources by 2023. The ministerial subcommittee has been appointed to meet the target by taking necessary steps expeditiously. Minister Johnston Fernando is the chairman of the committee, while Ministers Vasudeva Nanayakkara, Udaya Gammanpila and Nama Rajapaksa are the other members of the committee. They are expected to submit a report to the Cabinet every 2 months. Minister Kehelia Rambukwala has made a proposal to the Cabinet to get recommendations by appointing a committee to rectify salary anomalies between various services. The committee should be headed by the National Wages Commission. Salary anomalies have occurred in the health sector after removing salary anomalies in the principals and teachers service. Health sector officials engaged in a trade union action demanding to rectify those anomalies. The Government Medical Officers Association and Registered Medical Practitioners Association have submitted proposals on preparing a new national wage policy. The minister pointed out the health sector trade unions have requested to amend overtime payments based on the salaries. The sacred relics and the pinnacle, which are to be placed in Digavapi Mahasaya, were taken in a procession this morning from Colombo Sambodhi Viharaya. The procession is scheduled to reach Sri Dalda Maligawa in Kandy this evening. After 3 days of religious rituals, the sacred relics will be placed inside the Digavapi Mahasaya on the 6th. Minister of Foreign Affairs Professor G.L. Pieris and the Sri Lanka delegation had high-level bilateral meetings on the sidelines of the high-level segment of the 49th session of the Human Rights Council, which commenced on Monday. During his meeting with the Minister of State of the United Kingdom for South and Central Asia, UN and the Commonwealth, Lord Tariq Ahmed, the Minister of Foreign Affairs discussed bilateral cooperation and progress achieved by Sri Lanka in advancing reconciliation, as well as the government's comprehensive efforts at fostering unity and harmony. The minister emphasized the need for understanding and recognition of Sri Lanka's efforts. At the meeting with the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Baroness Patricia Scotland, the minister discussed avenues of furthering Sri Lanka's cooperation with the Commonwealth, including on the economic front, tourism and opportunities for the youth such as vocational training. The Commonwealth Secretary-General commended Sri Lanka's lead role on the blue economy and requested enhanced engagement in this area. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
medical insurance plan that begins at the age of 60. Medi 60 from Sri Lanka Insurance.
A former newsreader of the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation, Premawangsha Ranatunga, has passed away at the age of 96. He was a newsreader until the latter part of the 80s decade, and he also worked as a translator in the Parliament. He is the elder brother of the veteran musician Professor Dayaratna Ranatunga. His remains will lie at a private funeral parlour in Borella from tonight. The funeral is scheduled to be held at the Borella General Cemetery on Saturday. Humanity and Inclusion, which is an international non-profit, non-governmental organisation, implements the project on women-led human rights promotion in Sri Lanka across Ampara, Anuradhapura, Hambantota, Jaffna, Kandy, Mana, Monragala and Trincomalee in partnership with Women's Development Centre and Wilundu organisation. The project is funded by the European Union. Humanity and Inclusion and other partner organisations organised National Advocacy Event 2022 this morning in Colombo. Among the objectives of the event are creating space for sharing project implementation experiences and providing opportunities to present human rights and fundamental freedom issues in those districts. And that ends local news for now.
The medical insurance plan that begins at the age of 60. Medi 60 from Sri Lanka Insurance. A health insurance plan to honour our most valued elders by the protectors of the nation. We now give our treasured senior citizens access to the very best medical insurance, specially tailored for anyone over 60. What's more, you don't need medical screening to access this policy. And Medi 60 covers a wide range of illnesses. Only from Sri Lanka Insurance. Call 0112 357 357.
The Health Ministry said today 200 more patients have recovered from COVID-19 within the last 24 hours. This brings the total number of COVID-19 recoveries in the country to 609,292. Meanwhile, 21,412 patients are under medical care at present. Sri Lanka has recorded 646,948 cases and 16,244 deaths since the outbreak of the pandemic. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
In Watchlight, the High Commissioner of India in Colombo invites applications for the ICCR scholarships for 2022-2023 academic sessions. Selection of candidates is done in consultation with the Ministry of Education and the Government of Sri Lanka to pursue undergraduate and postgraduate degrees in some of the topmost universities in India. The necessary details are available in the website of the Ministry of Education at www.mohe.gov.lk. That's www.mohe.gov.lk. Prospective students are advised to approach the Ministry of Education and the Sri Lanka or High Commissioner of India in Colombo to learn more about the eligibility criteria and the selection procedure. And that was Watchlight.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
No matter what anyone says, for your lease, visit the Leasing Mahagedara. People's Leasing, Friendly Leasing Mahagedara. More information from the nearest People's Leasing branch.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
In the headlines, Russia has intensified its attacks on key Ukrainian cities. Kyiv is discussing whether to hold more negotiations with Russia. Ship carrying thousands of luxury cars sinks off the Azores. World news in detail now. Russia has intensified its attacks on key Ukrainian cities, with fighting raging for the seventh day in the north, east and the south. Russian paratroopers have landed in Kharkiv in the northeast, Ukraine says, with heavy fighting reported. In the south, Russia says it has taken control of the port of Kherson, but its mayor says it's still held by the Ukrainian forces. A 40-mile-long convoy of Russian armored vehicles is about 15 miles north of the capital Kyiv. Ukrainian presidential advisor Mikhailo Podolyak has said that Kyiv is discussing whether to hold more negotiations with Russia. Turkish government said Russia cancelled a bid to send 4 of its warships through Turkish waters into the Black Sea at Turkey's request. European Union diplomats have approved new sanctions against Belarus for its supporting role in Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The European Commission has proposed that the bloc grant temporary residence rights to people fleeing Ukraine. A cargo ship that was carrying thousands of luxury cars has sunk off the Portuguese Azores archipelago nearly 2 weeks after it caught fire. The ship, named Felicity Ace, was transporting around 4,000 cars such as Porsches and Bentleys. The vessel was on its way to Rhode Island in the United States from the German port of Emden when the fire broke out. Back to the headlines of the world news. Russia has intensified its attacks on key Ukrainian cities. Kyiv is discussing whether to hold more negotiations with Russia. Ship carrying thousands of luxury cars sink off the Azores. And that ends world news.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
For your wheel lease, visit the Leasing Mahagedara. People's Leasing, friendly leasing Mahagedara. More information from the nearest People's Leasing branch.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development News is brought to you by... Let's take all out of the coconut tree and make the island thriving and prosperous. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
In development news, Northern Province Governor Jeevan Tyagaraja says Sri Lanka plans to develop one of the 7 islands in the north as a duty-free hub in collaboration with a group of Indian investors. Governor Tyagaraja said he will be meeting 25 Indian business houses to discuss the project and get their assistance for it. And that was development news.
Development News was brought to you by... The coconut tree is well grown in almost all the parts of the island. It is an exceptional source of extra income. The shell, the husk and almost all the parts of the coconut tree makes you money, providing you with an excellent extra source of income. It will also help to nourish the economy of the country. You will be guided with all necessary informations regarding the coconut cultivation, with the novel cultivation techniques and all other related and upgraded informations by the Coconut Research Institute, Lunavilla. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
Sports News is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
Motorsports governing body, the FIA, is to allow Russian competitors to take part in international events despite the country's invasion of Ukraine. President Mohammed bin Salem said the FIA condemns the Russian invasion of Ukraine, but the statement added that Russian and Belarusian drivers and officials could compete in a neutral capacity. Boxing news, Britain's heavyweight world champion Tyson Fury says he will retire after the defence of his WBC title against Dillian Whyte in April. The unbeaten 33-year-old is a 2-time world champion, winning 31 of 32 professional fights. Cricket news, England impressively brushed aside South Africa in their final Women's World Cup warm-up match in Lincoln. In a game reduced to 35 overs aside due to rain, England restricted the Proteas to 138 for 9 before reaching the target with almost 9 overs to spare. And that was sports news.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
In SLBC EcoCycle has inaugurated a state-of-the-art pyrolysis plant at its Putlam cement plant to convert industrial waste into valuable resources. The newly opened pyrolysis plant, which is equipped with cutting-edge technologies, provides a total waste management solution based on resources recovery from a wide range of industries. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
In economic news, dealers said Sri Lanka's bond yields edged up today and the central bank's indicative spot rate was down marginally. In debt markets, the bond maturing on the 1st of August 2025 was quoted at 13 to 13.05% today, up from 12.9 to 13% on Monday. And that was economic news.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
In the weather report, the low pressure area over the southwest Bay of Bengal and the adjoining southeast Bay of Bengal is likely to intensify further and move west-northwestward off the east coast of Sri Lanka during the next few days. Cloudy skies can be expected in the northern, north-central, eastern, Ua and central provinces. Showers will occur at times in the northern, north-central, eastern, Ua and central provinces. Heavy showers above 100 millimeters can be expected at some places in the northern, north-central and eastern provinces and in the Matale district. Wind speed can increase up to 50 kilometers per hour at times in the northern, north-central, eastern, northwestern and Ua provinces, eastern slopes of the Central Hills and in the Hambantota district. That was the weather report, and to end this news broadcast, back to the headlines. The Prime Minister instructs to take steps to protect Sri Lankan students in Belarus. A ship carrying 37,300 metric tons of diesel arrives in the Colombo harbour. A special ministerial subcommittee appointed to expedite renewable energy projects. It has been emphasised that salary anomalies between the services should be rectified. Placing of sacred relics in Digavapi Mahasaya will take place on the 6th. The Commonwealth commends Sri Lanka's lead role on the blue economy. Foreign news, Russia has intensified its attacks on key Ukrainian cities. Sports, motorsports governing body rules, Russian and Belarusian drivers can compete in neutral capacity. And with that, we end this news broadcast.